everyone. Morning, morning, morning. Have you found your dream as yet? If not, then you are in the right place, the right environment. I have some notifications, and this is the head topic right now, that there are big tech giant companies that are laying off people so that they can save money, right? Because if you have more people, then you have more expenses, right? So they are trying to minimize their expenses. I'm talking about multi-million dollar corporations. They can use your your cell phone and do some research, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. It's all over the media, so you will find it. Uh Good news and bad news. Yeah. The good news is that if these people didn't discover themselves, they wouldn't have a business in the first place. Secondly, they couldn't have laid off anybody if they didn't have these organizations and corporations and stuff like that. So that's the good news. The bad news is that on the flip side of the coin, statistics surveys have also shown that if you should divide up all the money in the world and give to everybody, the money will go back to the same place. Oh my. Isn't that frightening story? Imagine if say for example 500 trillion dollars in the world, I would divide up that 500 trillion dollars to all the people in the world, right? There's millions of people in the world. We divide it up so everybody have equal share. You mean that all that money that is divided up all over will head back to the same people that have it? Oh my. Oh my, oh my, oh my. It's not a good look, because one of two things is that it tells us about our attitude, and it tells us how we manage, right? Because if you don't have the right attitude, if you don't have the right management skills, it is almost impossible for you to get things done. And this is why it is important that we charge up ourselves, we work on our belief system, because the belief system is one of the key component player in this race to your future. Right? And the race to your future is not a sprint. So we get up and we try to compete against each other, we try to fight against each other, we try to do all these things amongst our peers, and it clutter our mind and it confuses us, and you want to do what that person is doing and you want to race them to do it, and you want to do what that person is doing and you want to race them to do it, and it becomes so confusing, and then you clutter your system, and then you are overloaded with junk, things that you not even want to do for yourself. You do it, but you don't really want to do it for yourself. You make some money from it too also, but you don't really want to do it for yourself. You don't have a passion for it. You don't have a love for it. Yes? And if we do have a passion and a love for it, we get stuck somewhere along the way. Why? Because we fail to educate ourselves about the things that we are supposed to know. You have good startup ideas, and you get started and then you get stuck. Why? Because we fail to educate ourselves about the process. If you have a start, it's good. Many people don't have a start. So if you have a start, it is the icing on the cake. So now you have an opportunity to deliver, right? For the ones that are doing it. So it's good and it's bad in a sense. If you are doing what you are supposed to be doing, that's a plus. But if you are doing some things that you are not supposed to be doing, then you are robbing yourself of an opportunity to do the things that you are supposed to do. And that is a big problem. That's a very, very big problem. That's a very serious matter. We heading to our future. It's only a matter of time before we depart this life, and we are farming fools of ourselves, doing the things that we are not supposed to. going around in circle and heading back at the same place. I know this. I am a living testimony of a man walking around in circles, going around in circles, and then ending up back in the same place. I make a lot of money in this life, and where is my money? It gone same place back to the 10%. To the people who can manage, to the people who have the right attitude, to the people who are in business. Yes? So I can use myself as an example and as a living testimony that I made a lot of money, and based on what these statistics surveys have been shown, that if you divide up all the money in the world, it will go back to the same place. And when you look at the psychological fact of it, it is a reality. It is true. It is true. You cannot fake a good life. You cannot fake a good life, because karma is going to tell you how you live. You're going to have yourself to deal with. You're going to have to face your own judgment one day. To say, I had the opportunity to do this, and I had the opportunity to do that, and I got the help to do this, and I got the help to do that, and I refuse it. I had the privilege to do that. I had the mindset to do that, but I didn't have the right attitude, and I didn't educate myself about it. It's a big difference when you know it compared to when you don't know, you know. For when you don't know, you just don't know. But when you educate yourself to the things that you are supposed to know, you are now in the know, so you know exactly what to do. Look at a man building a house, the construction workers. If they don't know what they are doing, when the house reaches a certain stage, it's going to collapse. Yes? Because of poor materials. If they don't know what they are doing. Right? So it's a big difference when you are in the know compared to when you don't know what you are doing. So we have to get a grip of ourselves. This is now 2024, and we have to develop the right attitude and the right mindset and get a grip of ourselves by any means necessary. You cannot just be getting up every day browsing and scrolling away your dreams and your life. Find something that you want to do for yourself, that you would love to do, that you can do creatively and comfortably. That you will love this that you do, and do it badly until you get it right. And if you can't do a lot of it, you do a little bit of it. And you take leaps and you grow your wings on the way. You mean that if all the money divide up in the world, it go back to the same place? It is possible. It is possible. We don't know how to hold money. We don't know how to turn money and let it come back to us. We don't have the right mindset. We don't program our mind. We don't do the things that we are supposed to do. We don't have good management skills. And this is why we are losing. This is why we are losing. I make millions of dollars from the time I came into this world and to this day. And more than 90% of the money I made, I don't know where it go. I can testify that I spend a couple $1 million in the courthouse system because of my disturbing behaviors. Because the lack of knowledge that I should have educated myself that there are some laws in life that we should obey. So I was running up and down the Brownstone Orchard Road like a mad cow, disobeying police, disrespecting police, running police, and then when the hands of the law reached me with the full length, I had to pay a price. These people had more power than I had at the time because of the lack of knowledge, because of ignorance. So the moment I started to get a grip of myself and start to educate myself about what was happening and educating myself about myself and the things that I am doing compared to the things that I am supposed to be doing, I had to short circuit and override some things that I was doing and start doing some things that I am supposed to be doing. I had to get a grip of myself, or else I will be in the same position today. I could be in a courthouse right now. I could be in a jailhouse right now. Right? Because of a failed system that I have inside of me. A system that's not working. And I failed to repair the system, and that's what had me stuck. So when I started to educate myself about myself, I started to extract some tools from life, like educating myself. That's a very important tool to have. Believing in myself, that's a very important tool to have. Disciplining my own mind, that's a very important tool to have. And being consistent with these tools, developing the right attitude, that's also a very important tool. And being consistent with that, with these tools that I have discovered for myself. Yes? So when I have discovered these tools for myself and I am consistent with it, I start doing things differently. I got out of the bus. And when I got out of the bus, I was stone broke. I have days that I don't know where my next meal is coming from. I have white skull on my two jaw corners. I was running away. I changed my identity on Facebook because what's the police name that would be looking for you? The warrant officers. They will find me on social media. Yes? And they will find me and they will remind me. And they will call me in. They will issue a warrant for my arrest. Yes? I have contempt of court. I have so many experiences. I have almost every charge in the ticket book. I got almost every charge that you can think of in the traffic system. Other than even dangerous and reckless driving. I'm not sure if that's the highest charge. Even that. And I never had a major accident. But I was driving like a mad cow. Yes? But at some point, people, at some point I had to catch myself. I had to get a grip of myself. Because when I look at many people that retire in the bus system, they don't retire with a pension. They don't retire a millionaire. They don't retire with good health. They don't retire with anything meaningful and constructive. And then I had to start to doing some self-checkup on myself. I had to start doing some self-check on myself. And when I start having surveys and one-on-one conversation with some veterans in the system that passed through the system that was there before me, many of them had the same cry. They went to courthouse, they went to jailhouse, they got a bag of tickets, they were shutter drivers, they were this and that, and they retired with nothing. They retired with nothing. I left some of them on the road just the same. They have nothing to show that this is what I got from this that I am doing. Many of them. I won't say all. Many of them. So I had to do some check on myself and I say, if I retire here, how am I going to retire? And then I have realized that I am now discovering some new things about myself. That I can do some things differently. I'm very creative. And I start doing some things differently. Like ejecting myself from the system and catching my uniforms on fire with the intention not to go back. I have done that several times and end up back in it. But there at some point I had to get mad with myself and serious with myself and say enough is enough, and we have to do this with ourselves because we are in control of ourselves. We have full control over ourselves if we want to take us where we are supposed to be. We have full control over ourselves to do the things that we are supposed to do. We have full control over ourselves to educate ourselves. We have full control. It is our responsibility to take up ourselves in our own hands. It is our responsibility to reel ourselves in. It is our responsibility to get a grip of ourselves and stop robbing yourself of an opportunity. Another good example that you must embrace is that when I speak to many old people, and a lot of these people wasn't in bus, so I'm showing you the pattern of how we are living. Many old people, when I have one-on-one conversations with these people, they will tell you if they could live their life over again, they would have done things differently. There were some things inside of them that they wanted to do. They didn't do it. Now they are old and worn out, and now they are living in the pain of regret. You know how painful that is? More painful than a toothache, more painful than an headache, more painful than a bellyache, more painful than cuts and bruises and scars. So it better you go through these things heading towards the direction that you are supposed to. Get some headache and some toothache on your journey. Some bellyache and some footache, some cuts, some bruises and some scars heading towards a dream. And if you should die, that's a good way to die. If death is your fear, which is the highest threat, die heading towards your dream. Die doing the things that you are supposed to do. Not trying to rob anyone or to rob yourself of an opportunity to do the things that you are supposed to do. No. It is high quality madness. It is high intelligent madness. Yeah? So if you are doing some things that you are not supposed to be doing, if you are doing some things that are not working for you, if you have been doing some things for the last 5 years, the last 10 years, the last 15 years, and it's not working for you, it is your responsibility to get yourself in line. Right? It is your responsibility to educate yourself. You cannot blame your parents, you cannot blame government, you cannot blame friends, you cannot blame anyone. We have to hold ourselves accountable to do the things that we are supposed to do. If not, you're going to get old, or you're going to get worn out, or you're going to waste a whole heap of time, and you're going to play the blame game. You're going to blame everybody that you can blame. And then another survey is going to show again that all the money, if it was divided up amongst everyone, it will end up back in the same direction. And these are the reasons why. These are the reasons why. Some simple things, because we are ignorant, because we don't want to take any telling, we don't want to take any coaching, we don't want to do any of this. And on top of that, we fail to educate ourselves, which is the most important. Educating yourself is 150 percentage times more important, educating yourself, than doing anything else on a daily basis. It is more important and meaningful than everything else that you do on a daily basis. Educating yourself about the things that you are supposed to do. And stop making a fool of ourselves. So reel yourself in, pull yourself in, and get a grip of your own self. It's yourself we're talking about, you know. It's yourself that we are talking about. You and I. You cannot fake a good life. I cannot fake a good life. If you try to fake a good life, you are only setting up yourself to live in the pain of regret, of finding excuses not to do the things that you are supposed to do. You can be the next billionaire. You can be the next lawyer. You can be the next doctor. You can be the next business owner. You can be the next home owner. You can be the next college graduate. Yes? There are so many things. So many things. The car that you drive, the bus that take you to work was someone's idea. Right? These people are getting the money. That's where your money is going. The house that you live in, if you didn't build it, that's someone's idea. If you build it, then that's your idea. So everything around you, the tire that keeps the car moving, was someone's idea. The curtains in your house, the decors in your house, the dressers, the stove, the sink, you name it, the tile on the floor, the paint on the wall, they are all someone's idea. So people look around them and they find innovative and creative things and invest their time in it. They educate themselves in it, and you spend your money to get it. You work in these hard labors that you go through from time to time. I remember I risked my life in bus, and many of my money gone all these places all over, investing in so many things that is not making any contributions back to my life. A lot of things. So we have to extract the good things that we can use to add some meanings and values to our life. Having a home is one. You know, if you have a home and you buy some paint and you buy some tile and you buy some things, that's a good investment. You have to choose what is next. Are you going to let that home be a liability for you? So if you have a home and you don't have a business, you are almost defeated. Because how you're going to maintain and finance that house for the rest of your life? When you get old and your taxes have to be paid, how are you going to maintain that? So we have to have this kind of mindset and attitude. It does not necessarily mean that you have to do something that your neighbor is doing. It does not necessarily mean that you have to do something that everybody is doing. Hack into your brain, hack into your mind, right? And find out what is it that you can do, something big that you can do, that you can start small and see the big picture and grow. And grow in that area. Invest your time in that area. So it's not impossible. And it's not as hard as some of us make it seem. The problem that we are having is that we need some mind programming exercise, and this is why this organization has been created. World School JA Foundation was just an idea once upon a time. It was just an idea in the mind until I had to bring it to reality. So there are so many things around you that you are supposed to be doing that you are not doing, and we must educate ourselves to this, because there are surveys going around that is testing us to see how we are doing. So we have all these New Year's resolutions year after year after year after year after year until we get old, and then we start to live in the pain of regret, just like many of our ancestors did. So if we don't be careful, we are going to be in the same trap. If we don't listen or look at the things that we are supposed to be watching, we are heading in the same direction. For listening and looking is a way of learning. That's how we learn. We look and we listen. That's how we learn. That's where our learning come from. So 2024, I am your reminder. Out of everything I am saying that you need to educate yourself about whatever is it that you are supposed to be doing. You need to get a grip of yourself, and you need to start doing the things that you are supposed to be doing. It is, if it can get any simpler, I will look into it, and I will try and make the necessary adjustment to simplify it some more, because we must get it. We have to get it by any means necessary. I browse and I scroll through social media just like everybody else. But what are you looking for? What are you extracting? What are you learning from the things that you are spending your time on? Is it meaningful? Is it educational? Can it make any contribution to your dream or your life? These are the questions that we should be asking ourselves. If not, then you need to stop and start watching some things differently. There are so many things. Almost everything that you can think of is in the media. Imagine that. Almost every thought that can come to your mind is in the media. This simply means that we all are humans, and we act alike and we think alike. We are almost the same. We are almost the same. It's just that we have our own body and our own spirit and our own solar system walking around, our own brain. So we have to do our part. It is individual work that you do your part. It is individual work that I do my part. It is individual work that everyone do their part. The police, the doctors, the lawyers, the nurse, the teachers, we all have to do our part. So at this point, we need all hands on deck. right? We need all hands on deck. And I will continuously remind you that you have dreams and goals all the way through 2024 that must be built. Must. If you don't do it, you're only setting up yourselves to live in the pain of regret. So you have a choice. So your dream must be lived. It's not an option. It's a must. So join the movement and let us go forward. I close from here. God bless you on a journey. Walk good. Do the right thing.